They've told him that as a black man, the world is against him. A single mom of a biracial son who is 13 sues his school over CRT because everything that doesn't go his way is racist now, including his chores. Uh, a single mother of a biracial son is suing his school over anti-racism CRT style program, saying he now sees things that don't go his way as racism. Marissa Riley from Charlottesville in Virginia said that her 13-year-old boy never saw himself as different to other students until the Albemarle School District introduced an anti-racism program to his middle school last spring. We didn't have issues before. He's in 8th grade, Riley told Fox News host Jesse Mathers on Monday morning. He's seeing himself just as a black man. He's seeing things that don't go his way as racism, and he's finding safeties in numbers now. Riley said that her teenage son started to accuse her and others of racism as a way to get out of doing chores and other responsibilities. In one example, she said that he once accused her of being racist when she asked him to clean the house. They have totally changed his perspective. They have put him in a box, she said of the curriculum at Hanley Middle School in Cozette, Virginia. She told the news outlet that her son is using racism as an excuse because they have told him that that's how people see him as a black man and that the world is against, and he sees it as a negative now. When she confronted the school over the issue, Riley said that the school told her that her son would be a black spokesman for the black community in the school. The mother said when she pushed back, telling school officials she did not feel that that would be appropriate for her son, she was told that he and other children of color could go to a safe place during these conversations. This, she argued, would be segregation. In July of 2021, it was reported that the Crozet Gazelle, that Henley Middle School's anti-racism curriculum, was divided in opinions among teachers and parents. The local news outlet reported that the curriculum, called Courageous Conversations About Race, was launched over several weeks in May and last June, covering 4 units on identity, community bias, discrimination, social justice, and all these had an emphasis on anti-racism. The Crozet Gazette said that the introduction of the curriculum had divided opinion, with some parents saying CCAR bore similarities to a divisive CRT that teaches the idea that racism is fundamentally embedded in American political and social institutions. Parents across the country have attended school board meetings in droves to protest against the introduction of CRT in their children's schools, arguing that such teaching only serves to stoke divisions further. According to the New York Post, Riley and her son are plaintiffs in a lawsuit filed in December by the Alliance Defending Freedom against the Albemarle County School Board over this program. While the county does not call the program CRT, instead using CCAR, it still underpins and informs anti-racist training and teaching programs in school. Lawyers for the ADF had said they would appeal the ruling with Bryant Bangert, senior counsel with ADF, saying they were disappointed with the result. Oh, that's because the New York Post reported that the AFD's lawsuit was dismissed last month by a circuit court judge and did not object to the district's policy. Okay. Oh Jesus, where do I start with this?
This is very personal to me.
I know, because you are biracial,
raised by a single white woman,
right? Mm-hmm. So, first of all, my first question becomes: did she not know that the guy she had sex with was black?
She did.
Now I know that you guys are going to claim colorism, but this matters. How dark skinned is this kid?
I didn't see the kid.
They didn't show it.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know how dark skinned this kid is. and I know what y'all are saying, that the color of this kid does not matter, but in this situation, it does matter. And the reason why it does matter is because if this mother sees a child that looks like me or Alex, it is very easy for her to convince herself that that child does not have black in him, that that child is actually white, and that that child can live a lifestyle or live a life where the part of him that's black is not an issue. But if this kid is brown, darker brown, darkest brown, black, black, or mailbox blue, y'all know what I'm talking about, then there's no way in hell that she can go and walk around believing that this child's life will not be marginalized, will not be discriminated against on because of the fact that he is black. One of the issues that I have with white mothers of black children, especially of black boys, is the belief system that you can treat this child regular or as if they're not mixed or biracial, and that the rest of the world is going to treat them just exactly the same. And you're doing a disservice to this child by not teaching them everything about themselves and their heritage. Now, don't get it twisted. As a white woman, I don't necessarily expect you to be able to teach him everything. But the fact that you're suing the school over him learning about his heritage and what his people go through in this world shows just how closed-minded you really are. You're trying to get rid of this aspect of him like it's not there. And the fact that you're a single mother, does he have black friends? Do you have him in a school that's all black? I mean, that's all white kids. You know what I mean? Because if he's in a school that's all white kids, even though you treat him like he not a black kid and you feel as though race shouldn't be an issue, I guarantee you them little white kids that's at school with him ain't treating him like that.
Yeah. And
I'm give you a second. Hold on. I'm about to release it to you because I know this is right, you know what I'm saying? This is right here with you. So I'm about to release this to you. The question that becomes the major issue in situations like this is, what do you expect to happen? Do you expect this child to grow up and identify as white and to completely let go of his black side? What happens when he brings home a black girl and has black children? Like, what exactly did you expect? So now I'm going to read off these questions that's on here, and then I'm going to let Alex, because Alex, as a biracial woman with a Caucasian mother, with Caucasian family members, and who has absolutely black children. And the reason why I say that is because if her mother was still alive, her mother would have to, I'm not saying her mother isn't or is racist or was or wasn't. I'm just saying in general principle, right? Because we know Alex's mama wasn't. But her having these, I've seen Alex's kids. They darker than all of us.
mm-hmm.
Okay? Her having these black kids would become a realization for her mother that her child was black. And her kids having to be around all of their family members who are white would have to come to terms and recognize that these kids are black and how you treat them. So what do you do with the grandkids? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you trying to deny the fact that this kid is black and not let him learn about Trayvon Martin, not let him learn about Tamir Rice, not let him learn about what was the first one? Not the first one, but
Mike Brown.
No, keep going back. Emmett Till. To deny him and to make him feel like that ain't got nothing to do with you. That's what these schools is trying to explain to him. We just got finished talking about this where I told you my little brother grew up in San Diego. He didn't even know white people didn't like black folks in 1999. You see what I'm saying? This is essential for your child to grow up and understand. You are doing him a disservice by not letting him understand critical race theory. What happens to him when he's pulled over and the cop look at him and be like, "Where you going, boy?" and he start having his entitlement issues like he fucking white like you. And he can't get away with the same shit that he get away. Because even though you don't see color and you don't want him to identify as a black man, the rest of the world still sees him and identifies with him as a black man. And he has to know and be able to navigate them waters. Peachy says, Alex, do you get offended when your friends talk about white people around you being that you are mixed? My friend has a problem with that, Sunshine. So she has a friend who's mixed, and I've met her friend, and I could understand people that are mixed wanting to defend both aspects of their heritage. So I'm gonna give you a chance to answer that, but I got one more question before you answer that. Hold on to that. Sam said, my belief is that if you are 5% or have more melanin in your blood, then you should learn about your Black history and ancestry. But see, this is the problem with having only 5%, right? Okay. Technically, Ahmed would have 5% in him, right? He would have more than 5%. He would have 25%, right? Ain't that how that works? Because Drake is half black, right?
Uh-huh.
And the woman that Drake had.
Oh, you talking about his baby?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know his name was. Yeah, he'd be a quarter.
He'd be a quarter black, right?
Uh-huh.
You seen that little baby?
Yeah.
Have you seen Drake's baby?
Uh-huh. It's a white baby.
That's a white baby.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And we talking about Drake.
Drake?
Oh shit, it's turned down.
Nigga got body by Pusha T.
We talking about Drake.
The nigga didn't hide his kid from the world, but his world wouldn't hide from the kid. Aubrey Graham in the wheelchair. Drake, yes.
Why you think Aubrey was hiding his kid from the world?
Mm-hmm.
First thing I heard somebody ever said about Drake's son once they saw him.
Mm-hmm.
Most disrespectful thing I heard. Is he albino?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
he is a paler shade of white.
He's mixed.
He still looks. His
grandmama white, his mama white, his daddy half white.
He a paler shade of white. He a little off kiltered. It's the blonde hair.
That nigga kept him in the house. He's hiding him from the world. The poor boy ain't been outside. Let that little nigga stay outside for 20 minutes. I swear to God, he gonna be our complexion. Let him stay outside for 45 minutes.
Yeah, his mama Greek though, so she got a little
olive in her. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back. Alex, do you get offended when people talk about Caucasian people around you?
I don't get offended, but I believe that more so has to do about my personality. When you're mixed, at some point you do have to decide. There's a decision you make.
So that was gonna be my next question. Are you black or are you white or are you mixed? Are you other? What do you mark?
So I've always marked other just because it's none of their damn business. Really, that's why I've always marked other. But I know when I step out my door, I am black. That's not a question. I am black. I am perceived as black. I am black. I'm black. It's my culture. It's what you're gonna not see white. So I am black. I get that. That's 100% cool, and I'm fine with that. I also know that my mom is Italian. She comes with this beautiful heritage. It's me. I'm Italian as well. I know that on the inside. I know that. I don't deny it. I'll never deny it. But if you're going to put me to the fire and make me choose, I'm black. I'm black all day. I do black things. I like black shit. I'm black. Like that. And that's it. And I think for a lot of people, I think my two younger sisters are a good example. They have the same mom and dad. One of them is black. That's how she acts. They look alike. One of them made the decision that she is black when she enters the world. The other one made the decision she is white. They're good people, but you see the difference. You see the difference in how they respond to the world. You see the difference in how the world responds to them. One of her keeps her hair lighter than the other one. Their boyfriends, their friends, the people they interact with, all of that. You see the decision and the intentionalness they made when they chose to go one way or the other. So I do. I don't get offended when people make fun of white people, but I think that's a personality trait of mine. I make fun of everybody, so that
Everybody can get it.
Yeah, everybody can get it. I respect whatever you decide, but if you are biracial, the world sees you as black. As far as what, you know what I'm saying, the color, if your color is dark enough, the world sees you as black, and you have to accept that. Like, that's, and I talk to my sister about this all the time. Like, she doesn't get it. She's still young, but she doesn't understand that the world sees her as white because she identifies as or the world sees her as black because she identifies as white. She's at that phase where she has to understand what people see when they see you, you know? So I think that's a struggle a lot of mixed kids have. I grew up with a mom who understood that just because she married a black man did not make her black. You know what I mean? She knows that.
So your mom didn't have a Karen haircut.
My mom had it. Not the Karen. My mom kept a cute little pixie cut, not a Karen though. But no, my mom also, I think my advantage with my mom, even though she's American, she was born in England on an army base and grew up in Spain. She was removed from America during the 60s and 70s, you know, where a lot of stuff went down over here. She was raised by immigrants. So even though she's an American white woman, technically, I think that what the environment she grew in allowed her to see beyond white America. She wasn't in white America.
So how do you feel, did you notice a difference, or how did you feel growing up around your white cousins and white counterparts? Did you, or grandparents, did grandparents treat you differently? Aunts and uncles, like is there a difference? I don't know. Just
there. I mean, okay. So I grew up in a neighborhood that was predominantly white. It's a little Upper Caven, Georgia. It's a little town right outside of Buckhead, if you're familiar with Atlanta. It's very, very tiny. It's an old military town. I was one of 4 not white people at my school. It never was a problem. It wasn't a problem. Things probably went over my head. I was probably protected. In the moment, it wasn't a problem. I got the most backlash from my black grandmother. I had a white mom. My black dad brought a white woman into the family.
If she can't use your comb, she can't come home.
I used to get in trouble.
We've heard that before.
2 towels. Why you wash your hair every day? Grandma, I have to. I need to. It'll get oily. It'll stick to my head. Little things like that. But my other family, it never, and you know, I don't know, from my perspective as a child, I never felt out of place as far as being the black kid in the family or in the neighborhood. It wasn't until, and this is why this story is interesting to me, it wasn't until I got to 7th and 8th grade and I was around all these cultures. Remember, I was at this white school. I was around all these cultures. And if you don't know what I look like, a lot of people think I'm Puerto Rican or some kind of Latin. So I actually got it from the Latinas first. Like, why you don't speak Spanish? You don't like your heritage? You hanging out with these white girls? You know what I'm saying? Why you under this black dude? Like, I got it from them very, very bad. But it's because I look Hispanic.
So it's weird that you say that, because the 2 girls that are fighting over Diddy right now, I don't know their names.
Young Miami and somebody else.
Okay. So I guess Twitter got on one of the girls, the one that looks Asian. They got on her because she had said nigga.
Oh, okay.
And so she came back and she was like, I can't stand y'all black hoes. And I saw her say it and I was like, but then when I heard her explanation, I was like, well, I mean, you know, that sound like some nigga stuff. She was like, I can't stand y'all black hoes. How y'all gonna tell me I can't say nigga and I'm black and Asian? Like, my mama Asian and my daddy black. I'm a nigga too. You telling me I can't say nigga? And I feel what she's saying, because it's like, how dare you tell me how I identify or who I am if I've been this person my whole life? And sometimes as black people, we have to think to ourselves, some of the things that we identify with don't mean that it's black. It's just culture. And I'm gonna give y'all a prime example. Going to Miami, I've been around Mexicans my whole life. I'm from Cali. Not until I went to Miami have I ever heard a Hispanic person in person call each other niggas.
Oh, Yeah, I hear that all the time.
I like I've seen it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it not on TV, but because they don't portray it on TV. I've seen it on YouTube
Socials,
and
yeah.
Instagram and stuff like that. And it throw me off a little bit hearing Mexicans call each other niggas. You know what I'm saying? But this is the funny part. Mexicans don't really like black folk like that. Like negras. Like it can be some real stereotyping stuff going on. But they don't see it like that when they calling themselves niggas. That's a word.
They're
you know what I'm saying?
colorists, yeah.
Yeah,
Mexican
exactly.
culture is
It's
very
right. It's
colorist.
really weird.
Yeah.
So listening to this mom, and she's like, now all of a sudden he sees everything as racism. Well, babe, if he's never been able to understand the difference between racism and just having to do something, all of a sudden, yeah, he gonna use this trump card. Like, you getting mad at a 13-year-old for being a 13-year-old.
That's a huge part of the equation too. He's
He's
13.
13.
I blame my mama for being racist if she made me clean my room too. He's 13. Use your weapons. Like,
Right. You know what I'm saying? This is the only weapon he has right now.
And to me, what I get, like, there's a point when you realize, you know, you come to that eye-opening moment, like, okay, I am black. I am. And that I did have that moment because race wasn't never in my face like that. My mom always just put everything on the table. She didn't say this, and this. She said, here's your books, choose. You know what I mean? So it was all
black people. Did y'all ever have a moment where you had to be told you was black?
No, not well, no, I know some black folks who do need to be told that.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. My daughter, she be watching stuff on YouTube, and I be like, can you stop watching these white folks and watch some black folks?
Yeah.
And my daughter will be like, they're not white, they're black. And I'll be like, no, them is some cracker-ass crackers.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at her, and then, like, one day she said something to me where she was like, well, I'm white. And I was like, no, you're black. But if you look at my kid and look at the people she watching, other than their hair, I don't think she can tell the difference between the way they look and the way she look.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not until she get older is she gonna understand this is why you're black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with my son. My son growing up, because he's so fair-skinned, folks was calling him white, like being funny. And I had to explain to him, son, don't listen to them. You are not white.
Yeah.
You are light-skinned. It's different.
Well, and you know what? That bothered. I've had to deal with, you know, the thoughts all my life, but I hated being called white. Not because it came with this thing that I didn't have a struggle. I had privilege. I had to understand that I do have a privilege. It took me a while to understand. In certain situations, I get a privilege. But when I get called white, it feels like I'm being outcast by my community. Even though, you know, I
get that.
Yeah.
I get that because as black people, we use it as a dig or we use it as a negative. Because I got a homegirl right now. She's not white. She's not mixed. At least not. No, she might be mixed. I think JJ is mixed. But anyways, saying all that to say, some things that JJ does, the joke around the group would be, okay, colonizer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, like, calling this girl to her face. Even still now, I love JJ. And JJ mess around and do something, be like, all right, colonizer. You know what I mean?
And that's cool to me with friends and close-knit people who I can joke with.
But I've called white people colonizer.
Yeah, don't call me no colonizer in the street because we fighting. Like, we fighting. I've been approached and called the HR lady. What's your white ass doing in here?
Yeah, and so in those situations, when Peachy talks about her friend, I could understand her being mad in those situations, be like, nah, you ain't gonna talk about my white folks like that. I'm white too.
But
you know what I'm saying?
I had to defend white people amongst black people, and it's weird. It's weird. Cause
you know what I heard the most growing up?
Huh?
Like Like my black mother, the way she stopped me or prevented me from dating white men. To this day, I've never dated anything other than a black man. My husband is the lightest person I've ever dated. And it was so funny because just yesterday he was walking around the house with no shirt on and his arms are dark as hell, but his chest is white. And I was like, babe, you got to walk outside with no shirt on for a while. He was like, why? He was like, I got a workman's tan. I was like, no, you got a cracker tan. Like, you really look like a redneck. You know what I'm saying? Because this is white.
Yeah.
And this looks like regular black folk. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, you look like a zebra. Walking right here looking like a nigga zebra. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we crack up and we make them jokes and we talk and we make black folks feel some kind of way. Growing up my whole life, I've heard light skin, white, damn near white. You think you better than everybody because you light skin. I promise y'all, I swear to God, growing up in California, I did not know I was light skin until I moved to Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
And y'all could look. No. That's your phone. I promise y'all, I did not know I've never been called red until I moved to Atlanta.
That's very Atlanta.
That's very. What up, Red? This dude called me. Excuse me, what? I remember the first dude who called me Red. He's like, "What's up, Red?" I was like, "What's up, Black?" He's like, "Damn, you just gonna call me black like that? Well, you just gonna call me red like that? What is you talking about? I'm not even red. My undertones, I honestly is a little olive. Like I'm dumb like that. You know what I'm like? I really kind of got yellow and green undertones. It's not even red undertones. Like that's a ginger. Like what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, I'm not Malcolm X. Who is you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I called that nigga a phone. What did I call him? I called him a mailbox. He was like, "Excuse me, mailbox. What did you talk? Who? Like, I got jokes too." You know what I'm saying? Not till I moved to Georgia have I ever been told, "Oh, you think you cute because you light skinned."
Yeah.
No, bitch, I think I'm cute because have you seen my daddy? Because my mama fine as hell. You know what I'm saying? But I grew up also with a colorism type family. My mom is dark skinned. My mom, I cannot remember growing up and my mom telling me how pretty I was. Now, when I got older and we talked about it, my mom specifically said out of her dark skinned mouth, and I'm saying it like this for a reason. My mama specifically said out of her mouth, I never did that because I didn't want you to be one of them light-skinned girls with the big head. Luckily, I got a ton of self-esteem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But just think how many light-skinned girls are growing up with dark-skinned mothers who are treating them a different way because of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not just the black-white thing. It's a colorism thing all the way around.
Oh, I mean, definitely.
But I wonder what it's like to live in your skin, not knowing how somebody might be racist against you. And it absolutely has nothing to do with how you identify or who you are, but more so what they think you are and who they think you are. The fact that Mexicans would ask you to speak Spanish.
Yeah. And not even ask, get mad because I don't.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I'm born right here in Northside. My mom white, my daddy black. Like I'm not, but I mean, it's so deep. I have my kid, like you said, my kids are dark skinned. My kids are dark skinned. And it has been important for me from day one to daughters want to be their mothers, right? Daughters want to be their mothers. I remember looking at my mom's long straight hair or whatever her hair was looking like that day and like, why I can't brush my hair and it stays, you know what I'm saying? Like her hair stays or whatever it was. So
how was hair growing up? How was she able?
No. So, and I look at it comically now because when I look, I'm from the 80s. Mixed kids barely existed. If you're mixed in the 80s, it was because of your accident or your mama was just a rebel ass white lady. You know what I mean? Like mixed kids weren't around. I remember my mom found the only mixed family. I'm still know them to this day.
Again, grew up in California. Everybody was mixed.
Yeah, I'm in Georgia.
Everybody was mixed to the point where we had words. You either Caucasian,
Uh-huh.
Black and
Blasian,
East.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like I remember growing up in California and being asked, "What are you mixed with?"
Mhm.
Not are you mixed?
Yeah, no.
But what are you mixed with?
I
And being the anomaly for being black and black. Like my
Yeah.
growing up, what are you mixed with? Black and blacker?
Mm-mm.
What do you mean? my mom is blacker than my dad. That's what I'm mixed with.
Yeah.
So to say that you were the only, I wonder what your life would have been like if you would have been raised in California.
Well, my dad was always trying to send me to Cali.
Compared to being raised in Georgia.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I lucked out with my mom. I got a mom that was amazing, an amazing mom, and she knew her duty wasn't to teach me how to be black. She knew her duty was to love me. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing. It had nothing to do with. She knew she wasn't a black person. You know what I mean?
So what would you tell this mother who's suing the school? Like, how would you not just what would you tell the mother, but how would you address the kid? Like, what would you tell the child? Because obviously he's gonna have an identity crisis. He's going through an identity crisis right now. His mom isn't helping him. She's actually making it worse because she's trying to deny him access to that identity.
Yeah.
So, oh shit, this was a good one. We should have did this one last because we didn't get nowhere else. It stopped here. But go ahead. Shit.
No, I mean, because the mom is so wrong, right? And like I said, this timing. He's a 13-year-old boy, right? That's right around that middle school age where you're starting to notice yourself. You smelling yourself at this point.
Mhm.
He not only is he black, he's a black man. Right? And he's amongst white people. He's not a black man in College Park. Clearly, if he's the head ambassador of black people, like the article said.
And I hate that.
Me too.
Don't make me the ambassador of all black people.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the ambassador. I don't like the way y'all treat black people as a whole, let alone be the token one. I've watched Charlie Brown. The token nigga don't get a chair like the rest of the folks, and he on the opposite end. Go watch Charlie Brown and see what I'm talking about.
And that's so important because those are the little things that white ladies who don't see color, they don't pick up on the shit like that. The little things like that. That's why white moms raising black sons in particular is so hard. And I'm not saying don't do it, but you got to use your resources. And like I said, they're obviously in a situation where there's not a lot of black people. But I will just do your research, find out who you are. Like, I don't know your situation with your daddy. Go find some black friends, go find black people, go be in black culture. Don't let them tell you what black culture is because you're going to be learning from your neighborhood, which is obviously white. You know what I mean? Go to a HBCU, go down the street and do black things. And I'm not talking about the black shit you see in the rap videos. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not black. That's just rap.
That's a caricature.
It is. That's not black. I'm talking about
culture.
Go to the damn black section in your library and write down every author you see. Then go do some research based off of that. And mama, you need to sit your ass down. Go if you really want to do right, go find your son a black mentor. Go find him a black church to go to, a black baseball team to join. He can still go to the school because I know your school is better than the black schools because we know how they do school.
Right.
So let him go get his education there, but send him across the way to go do his recreation and sports. He needs to be around black people.
Now, see, I will say that the weird part about me is that I am for and against segregation all in the same breath.
I understand segregation.
I completely am for and against segregation all in the same breath. And I'll tell you why. One, because Ruby Bridges is still alive. And if you don't know who Ruby Bridges is, she was the young lady who integrated black schools. When you see the videos and the pictures of the little black girl, that lady only like 63 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only been, and she had to be at least 6 or 7 years old. So it's only been like 60 years since the educational system has been integrated anyway, right? So with that situation, I don't believe in integration if my kid or if I'm the only black kid. I do not think it's a good thing in that situation. I think for that person and for that child, I would love to talk to Ruby and just talk to her and ask her what was her mindset then, because she knew every day she was going into a war zone. If you're in a situation where you are the only person and you don't have any allies, you don't have anybody who can identify with you or somebody who's there to be like, nah, this person, she ain't crazy. that can be mentally frustrating. It's almost as if being in what's it called? Isolation versus general population. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I do not believe that we have to be integrated to be able to be the best and to get the things that we need. I believe we can take care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Our y'all, the chat room is going off. Okay. First, Sam said, great conversation, family. Peachy said, Alex, I would love to have you and my friend as a guest on Peachy Tea Time real soon one day.
Book me, link in bio.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that I would love to hear that conversation from both
for
ends.
real. Hit me up, Peachy. Hit me up on Instagram. DM me.
Yeah, I think that would be a great conversation to see how two biracial kids feel and the difference between where the biracialness came in. Like if your dad is the biracial person, is the black person comparative to your mom, do you have a different experience than if your mom was the black person and your dad was the white person?
Absolutely. Being raised by a white man is different than being raised by a black man. Think about it. I promise you it's a different experience. Not to say that one's better than the other, but I know it's different. The man of the house is white and the woman is black. It's a lot of differences.
PG said, this would be a great topic. I don't see mix when I see my friend. I see black. So when my mouth get loose, I offend her, but I don't understand why. I just don't get it, Alex. And so she also, to come with that, she said, see the way that Sunshine is talking now, my friend will have a problem, but Sunshine is just joking and playing.
I think this is a good example. Right after my mom passed, I was not here for white jokes. So I know that on a whole how white people are, but I also know when you see me in a picture, you see me with this white lady, right? So when you talk about white people, I'm intelligent to know that you're enough to know that you're not specifically talking about my mom, but there's still a part of me that understands my mom a white lady. You talking about my mama. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, and you don't know my mom individually. When you see my mom walking down the street, you probably gonna think
white lady.
Yeah. So, but you don't know all that she did for me to make sure that I was comfortable in this world, and how open she was, and how she saw race. She knew what black and white was, but it didn't matter. That's the difference.
So do you think people like that who say that they don't see race, are they allies or are they not allies?
That's the most dangerous thing you could ever do. When white women say they don't see race, they are shut up. Just shut up. It's so dangerous because, like you said, color is in front of us, right? Animals use color for warnings, for things like that, right? Society has made color our
system.
Yeah, I mean, we see color. You can't deny that. You don't go to the car to the dealership and say, I don't see any colors. You see color. So when you see a human, you see color. And if saying that you don't see color, I have an aunt who says this all the time, but she says she doesn't see color. I just want to love everyone. That's great. That sounds great, but let's be for real.
But how do you react, and what are your mannerisms, and how do you respond if it really is I just want to love everyone? See, that's my issue, is that I hear a lot of people say that, but then when I watch your actions exactly. Ain't I just love everybody and I don't see color action. Mm-hmm. Your actions is definitely I understand I'm privileged as fuck and I don't want to be treated the way they treat them folks, but I also ain't gonna step up and say don't do that, and unless it's specifically about their black person.
And that's it.
Then they can acknowledge the racism when it's their black person. You know what I'm saying? But when it's black people, it's not racism.
Well, this is the same aunt who doesn't see color, who did not. Well, we can't stop at that Kroger. That's where all the Latinos are. We'll just go to the other Kroger. But that's okay. And she said this to her sister, who was my mom, who was married to a Puerto Rican man. But she doesn't see color. I have a black niece. I don't see color. You know, so I'm in the back seat like, what the fuck? Like, my mom is like, huh? We didn't even go to Kroger that day. We were visiting them to take us home. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I say whenever I hear, especially a white woman say, I don't see color, I just block. I don't even, you're not ready to be dealt with. You still got to do some work.
So as the biracial kid at Christmas, at Thanksgiving, at, you know, family events and stuff with your white side, was there ever a moment where you realized that you were separate but equal with them, or that you did you ever have anyone in your family who let you know you were black and you were different? And I would like to know that about Jessica, about her friend as well, because it's like, if you get mad when people talk about white folks, how do you feel when white folks treat you the way white folks treat black folks? Do you get, I mean, I assume you would get just as mad, but do you get mad at white people or are you mad at them? Because I'm telling you right now, I can't watch certain shit no more because I be mad at all white people. I saw A Time to Kill one time. And to this day, I still have not seen Get Out. I still ain't seen it. What's it, 40 Years a Slave, The Butler. You know, the only reason why I watched the movie with the shit pies was because shit pies. I'm going to watch this lady eat some boo-boo. But I don't watch those movies for those reasons. You know what I'm saying? Being around people like that, it just... Answer the question.
No, I mean, and I would say this, growing up, I'd say 15 and under, that kind of thing. No, my white family, and you know, I'll say this too. I visited there. They're in Ohio. I've always been in Georgia. I've never been around my family consistently. But I was born under the right stars. My white family did not make me feel that way. Now, when I got older at 15 and started recognizing little nuances and little things like that, there was nothing ever just specifically put on me. But I could see underlying things that were a part of their world. You know, they lived in Dayton, Ohio. At the time, 2000, Dayton, Ohio was the most segregated city in America. You would never know that. And by segregation, white people just stayed on one side and black people stayed on the other. They did not have mixed neighborhoods. Now, would you see racial violence like you would down in the South or anything like that? It just died. You wouldn't see none of that stuff. You wouldn't see blatant racism. And the most backlash, honestly, came from my black grandma. One Christmas, woke up, I had zero Christmas gifts, and my cousin had tons of Christmas gifts, bikes, computers, 2 computers, and my grandma's thinking was, well, your white mom can take care of that, because she was a white lady, right? Because white ladies have money. That was her thinking. I woke up to Christmas with nothing because my white mom could do it. And so I'm sitting there like, and she grew up in Mississippi. I get it. You know what I mean? She didn't like white people. And I was just that for her. But as far as it comes with my white family, at a young age, I was never put in a position where I felt like I was the dirty child, the wrong child.
Are you the only biracial child in the white family? In the white family,
yeah, I am. But now my cousin married a black woman, so I have 2 second cousins that are mixed, like me. And but on my grandma's side, I was the first grandchild, mixed. The next grandchild was black. The next 15 grandchildren, all biracial.
Really?
All biracial. All biracial.
Really?
Every single one of her sons married a white woman. Every single one. It wasn't until 2020 we got the next black grandkid. Her daughter married a black man. So
how do you think she felt or treated the rest? Is she still alive?
Yeah, she's still alive now.
So how does she respond now? Because she's outnumbered, and severely. you can't justify you can't justify treating all of these kids this way.
And I have to say, it has to be karma or the way the universe works, because my uncle ended up marrying a white woman who came with 5 white kids.
Oh.
Then they started adding on to their, right? So now...
Peachy said, wait a minute, she didn't buy you a gift? Peachy about to snap because
Oh,
I already know with Peachy,
Yeah.
it ain't about being white or black. It's the fact that you was a child.
And you know what she did? You know what? When my granddaddy realized what she did, he handed me a gift that was for my dad. It was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the movie, right? My grandma turned around and took it from me and said, no, that's for my son. My grown-ass dad took it from me and gave it to who it was meant for. My granddaddy was trying to make it right. You know what I mean? And I mean, that was our relationship. I took the brunt of it. But once them 5 white kids, and they wasn't just white, they was blonde-haired, blue-eyed white kids that she brought, my uncle brought home and then started adding on. And then her other son just started having more and more kids and bringing home all the white girls. She softened, but she softened for them, you know? And like I said, I didn't live down there. I wasn't, I was a, you know, coming in the summertime. Yeah. So I think I did take the brunt of it. I think I softened it up for the rest of the kids, but I mean, it is what it is. You know, it's my story. And you know what's funny? You want to know the real irony of the story? Did a little DNA test. My grandma mixed in a mother. She mixed. Like her dad is from India of all places, and her mom is from England. You know what I mean? Or I'm sorry, her granddad is from India and her grandma is from England. Like, come on. So if that wasn't the case,
You racist ass racist.
right?
And you one of us.
Finally see pictures of her as a child growing up. Look just like me.
Really?
Curly ass hair.
So do you think it was an issue of self-hate then?
What her issue was growing up in Mississippi, the colorism. She was light. If you see my grandma, she looked mixed. She got a green to her eyes. You know what I'm saying? She was allowed to ride. Well, not even allowed. She was forced to ride the regular bus with the white people. Her brother,
What?
who is dark skinned.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
The whole time you was explaining to your grandma, I swear to God, I was picturing a big mama foot shuffling, dark skin, titties on swole,
Foxy
short
Brown.
hair.
Think of Foxy Brown, Pam Grier. Think of Pam Grier with a little more
Really?
curl in her hair. That's my grandma, Pam Grier with green eyes and curls in her hair. That's my grandma. And what happened was, though, as her mom died when she was real young, right? So she became the protector. She's the oldest of all those kids. She became the protector of her family. She was passing, you know what I'm saying? So she had to ride the white people bus while her brother, who she's there to protect, had to ride the black people bus. The separation, she felt like she didn't want the privilege they gave her. She wanted to be on the other side of things. So she started looking at white people, not only are you're you're making me be a part of you and I'm leaving my brothers behind. I don't want anything to do with y'all. I don't want nothing to do with y'all. Just leave me alone. And that just became her plight. And I think, she left Mississippi on some, she got a man to pay for college for her, left Mississippi, went to Florida, met my granddaddy, and then started traveling the world. And I think that hate, or if I don't see it as self-hate, white people are the enemy. They were the enemy. And so once she got out into the world and other countries, she was able to see different things, and I just think coming back home and having all her black sons have white kids, it didn't sit right with her. It wasn't fair to her. And that's just her story. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. That's her story.
Now I want to interview your grandmama.
Well, now she has, this is even crazier part. So she has dementia, right?
Peachy, make sure the phone on. Peachy said, wait a minute. Peachy is going off. She is literally like, fuck this job right now. Because I know Peachy is at work. It's supposed to be working. And Peachy is like, what is the call-in number? Okay, y'all, if y'all want to call in and have a conversation, it is 9:15. We done missed all the break. Y'all, we done missed everything. Okay, the phone number is 404-254-4347. We could talk about this for like another 3 minutes, but then we got to go on break. But then after we come back from break, I mean, that's what radio is. Radio is good conversation, right? Mm-hmm. And even though a lot of times I want to stay on subject of what I've decided I wanted to talk about for the day, to be honest with you, this is what I want more than anything, is just good adult ass conversation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like this is healthy. And I actually agree, Peachy. You know what? I agree with you. I think I would like Jessica in on my show too. Because coming from me, somebody who is an acquaintance of her, it might come off a little bit different than it would come from being her friend. Because as her friend, she's going to expect you and know that you know how she feels about certain things. But with me, without saying I can poke the bear differently, I feel as though I can create a different type of conversation because I can poke the bear in a different kind of way. That's when the Libra really comes in, when interviewing people come in, because a Libra can really, because we know how to push those buttons and poke a bear and get certain stuff out of people, depending on if you trying to be messy or not, really would depend on how you come across things. I ain't trying to be messy, but at the same time, I do want to invoke your emotion so I can get the realness from you, right? And I mean, I can see myself asking between the two of y'all. Anybody else ask this and it might not go down right? But I can see this being my question. I'm gonna ask you, what's the funniest racist joke you've ever heard?
Oh, like a white person?
Who cares? I'm saying, what's the fun? Because black folks got racist jokes too.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? And with you being mixed. Okay, and that's another thing. How y'all feel about that for real? Is it mixed? Is it hybrid? Is it mutt? Is it mulatto?
It's definitely not mulatto. Y'all gotta chill with that shit. That is especially because I'm mixed with Italian, right? In Italian, mulatto means horse and donkey. That's what mulatto means.
Really?
Yes, that's what a mulatto is. It's a mixed animal. It's a mixed.
I didn't know it meant horse and donkey.
Yes, horse and donkey. That's what it means. So when Big Lotto, come on now. But anyways, yeah, do your research. Cause for real, her name was Mulatto and she got mad because she needed to change it. Bitch, you calling yourself a bit horse donkey, but that's another story. But no.
Okay, before we go on, because you brought her up, is that the same young girl that was on that TV show where they was trying to make me a rapper or something like that back in the day? She
would have been too young, I think.
No, this was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I want to say
she's been rapping forever. She's been rapping forever.
Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It was like a game show or a rap show. I think it had Jermaine Dupri on it or something like that, where they were taking kids. They weren't taking adults. These were younger kids, and they were trying to, think like American Idol mixed with The Apprentice. That's the kind of show it was.
I do remember Jermaine Dupri's show like that. I'm not sure if Lotto was on it, but I know she's been rapping. I've watched videos of her back when she was 15 snapping, so it's very likely that.
Okay, so then my question becomes, what was she snapping on back then? Because all she snap on now is her coochie. But that's just all rappers in general, like all female rappers in general right now. The ones that are mainstream, even if they start talking about something dope at the beginning, as they go mainstream, it really becomes very watered down and just about being wet and riding dick. And eventually I can't listen to that anyway. But going back, first question I got, what is the funniest racist joke you ever heard? Oh, somebody said, yes, that's her. And it was called The Rap Game. Okay, just making sure I because she was called Mulatto then, right?
Yeah, I can't even think of the funniest racist joke off the top of my head, but I do know they've been told in my presence by white people, and that was very awkward. Very awkward.
Really?
I know one time I walked into my white friend's, we never went in her basement. I've been in her house for years and never walked down to the basement part. Go down there and it's a Confederate flag, big as this Hits banner, even wider than this Hits banner, just sitting there. And I remember the gut, it was a gut punch that I received when I saw that.
Really?
Yep. I'm going
Go ahead. Yep, go up.
7, 8,
Pick up the phone.
7, 8.
No, 5, 6. Hello, caller. How you doing?
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Okay, so Peachy said, huh? You got one too? Oh, okay. Well, come on in then. Look, everybody said they got questions today. Okay, so Peachy, what do you have to say as far as this is concerned? Being with the having the friend that's mixed and knowing that sometimes some of the things that you have to say about white people irritates her or makes her feel some kind of like just what you got to say in general. What's up?
Okay, yes. I'm so glad that y'all brought this up. Because this is something that I've been dealing with for a very, very, very long time.
Mhm.
Me and Jessica have been friends since, and I'm in my 20s.
Okay.
We didn't go to high school or nothing together. But she literally has a problem when I say anything about white people.
Anything in
And
general
it had
about
got so
white
bad.
people at all, or just anything negative about white people?
Negative. Anything negative. You know, sometimes, you know, I've been in the work field forever, you know, working for white people forever. So sometimes they make me mad. And I have to say some things, you know, and it had got so bad to where we stopped being friends because of my loose mouth. And we stopped being friends for years. Not like 2 or 3 years, like 6, 7, 8 years. Stopped being friends. And I do feel deep in my heart that I had to grow in order for me to be her friend. I had to grow and understand that if it hurts my friend's feelings, regardless of what the situation is, I have to correct it. So now that I have corrected it, I don't say it around her, but she feels like I still shouldn't say bad things about white people at all. But my thing is
no,
this,
I don't
when you
agree
come
with
to
that.
me,
Yeah.
when
I
you
don't
come
agree
to
with
me
that.
and say, hey, I'm white and I'm black, but I don't want you to say bad things about white people. Okay, now I don't want you to say bad things about black people.
Yeah, does she identify more as black or white? Would you put if you were to say she was black or white, which one would you choose?
I think Jessica plays her part. That's how I feel.
Jessica might
I
need
feel
to
like she plays her part. I feel like she, like you were talking about, that you know you have the privileges. Jessica knows she has the privileges. Jessica can go and sit around white people and won't have no issues at all. She could go and sit around black people and she won't have no issues at all until the jokes and stuff start coming in. When the jokes and stuff start coming in, that's when she jumps back to the white person and she's ready to go.
But I guarantee you, and I tell my sister this all the time, your white friends are making black jokes.
Right.
They're just not doing it in front of you. And the ones they might let slip in front of you, I guarantee you, the ones you don't hear are 10 times worse.
Right.
And this is personal experience.
And that's why I asked you, you know, just in general, being the mixed kid in the family, when you're around, do you feel like, you know what I'm saying, they say things to you, or they you know what I'm saying, because you family, they more comfortable with being like, you know.
Here's an example. So I was about 13 years old, spending the night at my friend's house. At the time, they were like my little best friends, 2 twins, white girl twins, right? I was asleep. You know when you're asleep, but you just woke up? One of their cousins runs in the room and says, he's thinking I'm asleep. He said, who the hell is that gorilla in the bed? That's what this white boy said. They all cracked up. All of them. My 2 best friends cracked up. They was like, and once they started laughing, he made the comment. He was like, since when y'all start letting black people spend the night?
Oh, wow.
That's the last time I talked to them 2 girls. They live next door. I got up, got home, went home. They was like, oh, we didn't know you were awake. No, that doesn't even matter. You said it, right? Like, me being awake has nothing to do with it. You said it, you laughed, then you came back, counterparty. Like, that was, to me, that was extremely eye-opening. And we had the options of going to 2 different schools. Those twins went to the white school. I ended up going to the black school. We could choose just because of the way the zoning was or whatever. And I don't have a relationship with them or anything like that. And we grew up together, like next door to each other for however many years. And it was just like, that was one of those things where I'm like, okay, they're friends in your face. They're friends in your face, but you have to understand, you still black. Still black.
Exactly. And Alex, I have a cousin. I have a cousin who is mixed, but she was raised by her black father from the time that she was like 3 years old. Never saw her mom the entire time. Her mom stayed in Cali and she stayed in Michigan. She was raised with us. She's black all damn day long, but she looks mixed. She got the long, pretty hair, all of that. Well, her dad passed away. Her granny passed away, which was black. But before her granny passed away, her granny told her, I need you to have a relationship with your mom, you know, because she was getting sick and she was going to die. But she said, I need you to have a relationship with your mom. My cousin now has a relationship with her mom, and she still is black. I can say whatever I want to say around her. It does not offend her.
So,
but with my friend Jessica, it offends her like crazy. We've both been into tears behind this, crying. Even just listening to you on the show, I've been sitting here crying, believe it or not, because it's something that I just don't understand. I feel like if we're friends, color don't matter. I should be able to say what I want to say because you know me.
Yeah, so
I'm not talking about your family. I'm not talking about your cousins.
Yeah, like I'm not talking specifically about you.
You see, I'm not, exactly, and so, that's how I look at it.
So Sheba is here. Hold on, Peachy. Sheba is here, and Sheba has something to say because you know her show starts in a little bit, but she was listening and she feels very adamant. What you got to say, Sheba?
Good morning,
Sheba.
Good morning,
I know.
Sheba.
Well, hey, Peachy, and I'm feeling you. You know, not the situation, but I feel the friendship. There's some love there because it's affecting you. You saying you're shedding tears.
Yeah.
Those are love tears. But I had a situation similar where I used to own a home health care agency before I just dove headfirst into agriculture. There was a family that I was taking care of prior to Trump's president. Okay, probably about 3.5 years. So that was during the Obama administration. Okay, so when Trump took office and everything was peachy, and before that, so Trump takes office and a whole another couple came out. I'm taking care of an 81-year-old man in their home. When I first took the assignment, when you first walk in their house, there was a Confederate flag hanging on the wall. However, that never came out. That side never came out. So I started school March 2018. Okay. This affected them so much. They waited till I finished my shift. And they had this piece of paper that they brought to me before I was getting ready to leave. And it had on there, number 1, while you're here, you cannot read. And they wanted me to sign it. They wanted me to sign this paper.
Oh, wait a minute. No.
Oh my God.
You know that was my last day.
No. First of all, I can't sign this because you don't want me to read. Right? Okay.
Second of all, I know that's what it is.
Second of all, you don't want me to read. Bitch, how am I gonna give you your goddamn medication? Right? Okay. I gotta read the instruction. I'm about to give you. Yes. Look, you can take this with some liquor, cause I can't read, and it say don't take with liquor.
Go ahead and drive after this. But you know what?
Jesus, that's
those are the little things that this white CRT mom is not going to understand how it affects, because those are those little things that they do to us constantly, and that's why this mom
they felt emboldened.
Yes.
They gave them some type.
Read. How ignorant do you got to be to tell a person? How do I know how to read? How do I just stop reading?
Yeah.
You can't just stop reading.
Exactly, but that
was another way they could have asked me to.
If they felt like ask the nigga to not read.
But you know, if you don't want to offend nobody, you can ask delicately, like during the shift, could you refrain from schoolwork?
There you go.
But
wordplay is that you was gonna start wondering and find their library and start reading the shit they got on their shelves.
Peachy.
That's what they were scared of.
Peachy. She said, "Don't read, Peachy."
That's what they told me.
They told her not to
sign
read
a contract that said you won't. Sign a contract that said you won't.
So then this becomes my question, Peachy. If y'all was sitting around and Sheba started talking about this, how would Jessica respond to this? Because this is one of those situations where you are talking about race, right? So how would Jessica just be like, oh, well, that's just them, or that's not white people, or like you can't. What?
Yeah, she will probably get up and leave.
I did.
And see, that's
Oh,
the
she
part.
would.
No,
No,
her
no, no,
friend
Jessica
would.
would
Jessica
leave.
would.
No, Jessica would leave the conversation, and that's why I think
And
the
that's
issue
when it
is
becomes a problem
Yeah.
because it's like you can't deny that this
Exactly.
is real in America. And just because it makes you uncomfortable doesn't mean that you can leave the situation. And that's exactly what's going on with this white mom that's trying to sue.
Yeah.
It has made her so uncomfortable to talk to her son about race that she feels as though she wants to stifle it
Yeah.
for everybody. Do you know how asshole-ish you got to be to say that you don't want anybody else to learn about their history because you don't want your kid to learn about his history because it makes you uncomfortable at home?
Yeah, and
Say a lot
the
about
CRT mom would have encouraged her son to sign that, not understanding the culture or from our perspective of why you should sign that. Don't read while you're there. She would, I guarantee you, she would encourage that he signs
Y'all, I can't
That's
tell
why
y'all
it's
the type of
important.
petty. I can't tell you the type of petty that I would be. I would bring these people the smallest print of words that I could freaking find on anything. I would print stuff up as small as possible and be like, I'm not allowed to read while I'm here. 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 This got your medication information on it. I don't know how many pills I'm supposed to give you. Read this.
Yeah,
And the moment they be like, well, I can't read it. Well, bitch, I'm not allowed to read neither.
yeah, yeah.
Because how stupid do you sound?
And
Please,
you know, old
what's
people
number
start
2 and 3 on the list?
forgetting.
I'm just curious. What was number 2 and 3 on
She
the
don't
list?
even know. She said
It was
Confederate flag,
not.
not read, gotta go. You saw what you
It
need
wasn't
to see.
anything. Oh, yes, it was. She wanted me to sit with him while he ate.
Meaning you can't walk around the house.
Keep in mind, I've been taking care of this man for 2.5 years. And nothing. We go to McDonald's together. I sit on the back seat.
Well, I'm surprised on there. You
know what I'm
can't
saying?
drive him nowhere, and you gotta have you
Oh,
gotta
I
sit in the
didn't.
back seat.
Oh, I didn't. I always sat on the back seat.
Oh, geez. I'm telling, but these are the conversations
This
that
is
these
what's going
CRT
on.
moms need to see. It's not about the words in the book. It's about the culture, our experiences, our past, our history, the reason these things are
reason.
issues. Yeah, these are little
didn't think
things
that
y'all
would
put in
offend
place.
me?
Exactly. And we're always looking at the big racism, right? It's not the big, it's the little shit we get punched with
Sometime
on a
I
daily
got
basis.
to go.
Okay, baby, I know you at work. F that job. F that job.
Get me picture,
yeah,
DM me
yeah,
picture.
I gotta get back. To
Yeah,
the
I
white
definitely want to be the I definitely want to be the engineer for that show. But I'm gonna be quiet because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna make somebody mad. Yeah, I'm gonna say something smart. I'm gonna call somebody a colonizer. I'm gonna call somebody a colonizer. It's probably gonna be Alex, but I'm gonna call somebody a colonizer. Okay, y'all. So for anybody who's just walking in on the conversation, okay, one person asked, how come Alex don't be going live? Okay, this is the reason why Alex don't go live. Because if multiple of us is going live, then you're gonna start hearing feedback. So a lot of times she just don't go live. And then not only that, but she using her phone for other stuff at the same time, right? So that's another reason why Alex don't go live. But if you want to see her, if you want to see her and you want to hear her and all that good stuff, all you got to do is watch us on YouTube or Facebook. It's YouTube, All Hustle, No Fear, Facebook at Hits 92.3, and you can see Alex. She up on the screen right now, titties out and everything. Okay,
Y'all can follow me too, Alex Wonderland.
Yep, no ease anywhere in that. Okay, between Magic and Dream said, but what did I just walk in on? Okay, so we started we started earlier today talking about Make It Make Sense, and we were talking about the story of the woman who is suing her son's school because he is biracial, and they started teaching him CRT, and she's saying now he running around saying everything is racist. You lucky he ain't calling you bruh. I can't wait to the day my son called me bruh.
Karen.
Yeah. The moment my son called me bruh, I'm gonna start calling him a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me bruh and I won't call you a bitch. I'm your mama. I'd rather be called Sunshine than be called bruh. I'm for real. We ain't about to get on that one. But you know, it's so weird about race in this country because each and every person feels differently. Alex was talking about going into her friend's house and going into the basement. I bet you if you would have looked further, you would have found a book that was encased in people's skin. I've talked about this before. They used to make books out of our leather-bound books with human leather. Chairs as well. You know what I mean? People don't want to have these conversations because we're talking about their grandparents.
Yeah.
We're talking about their parents.
Yeah.
I really would like to know, Peachy, does Jessica have children, and what does she teach her children? Because if Jessica has children with a white person, does she teach her children to walk in that privilege? And if Jessica has black kids, where does it lie within the colorism, and how does she teach them or treat them based upon how they look?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even with some black folks, your hair being too good hair could make you treated differently.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Girls cut my hair without me knowing.
I'd be done killed somebody.
Yeah.
You cut my daughter's hair, I swear to God, we all being shaved.
Yeah. And I think my sister low-key...
Peachy says she has black ass kids.
But I think that's in my sister's
I heard that in
forefront.
I heard that in Peachy. I heard that in Peachy's voice. She got some black ass kids.
But part of me, my sister used to get they're from Fayetteville, Georgia. So it's Tyrone. It's called Tyrone, Georgia.
Oh no, that's Tyrone. That's not Fayetteville.
Yeah,
I know Tyrone.
Yeah, that's okay. So they're from out there. Their mom was from out there in Tyrone, and she was always told your hair is too black, or just little things like that. When you see her, she's just very mixed. She just looks mixed to me. But I think when she looks at dudes, part of the reason that she goes for the white dudes is because she wants lighter kids. Her boyfriend, one of her boyfriends at one point, he invited her over to dinner, and the dad said, "Oh, they're going to let her out the zoo."
So remember when I said my mom used to deter me from talking to white men? I don't think I never told y'all what she did. I think I missed it. So my mom used to do things like say stuff like, if you date a white man, he might be okay with you, but his parents and his grandparents ain't gonna be okay with you, and you're gonna have to deal with the way they treat you and your kids. Or another thing she would say, which I saw happen with Terrence Howard, she would say, you might marry a white man or be with a white man and he fine with you while he's happy. But how is he going to act when he get mad? What is he going to say and do to you when he get mad? Same thing happened to Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard was married to that white lady, and every time she got mad at him, he said she would start calling him a nigga and start talking about, I'm going to call the police on you and do things and be like, that's why you a black ass, this, that, and the third. Like, she turned real racial when she got mad.
I guarantee you, because of his little light skin, little curly hair self, he was always in this little privileged situation. He was the good, and I have quotations, y'all, the good black, you know what I'm saying? Now you get outside of your culture and you just a black person. You not the good black or the successful black. You're the black man who beat up this Asian white lady or whatever she is. And that's why we have to be careful. Like, we have to be careful. I don't even...
This conversation... This conversation was so good today. Like, I swear to God, I want to continue this conversation on so many other levels, but we do have to get out of here. Sheba is in the building, which means she's about to come up very shortly. I haven't done none of the stuff I was supposed to do. I was supposed to show y'all videos. I got a whole set of videos to show y'all. I ain't get to show y'all nothing. It's okay. Yeah, somebody said off the scale radio show said, I love it. It's needed. Miss Primrose Official, I was just about to say, I'm about to be with her today. I didn't put on my eyelashes.
Off the scale is biracial. He biracial.
Really? Off the scale. I would love to hear how you feel about this situation as well. We might have to have a whole show talking about this. You know
Mixed kids unite. We got some shit to
mixed
talk
kids,
about.
where y'all at? Or no, not just mixed kids. I would like to talk to the parents of the mixed kids.
That's even better.
That's an even better conversation. If you have
or grandparents.
If you have biracial children, right? If you have biracial children and you're not biracial, how did you go about that?
And what do you do? What do you do to make sure that your child honors or understands their other race, or both sides of them?
Because I'm not gonna lie, if I was Caucasian and black, I definitely, the type of person that I am, I wouldn't want to deny my Caucasian heritage by any stretch of the imagination.
You got some.
Yeah, ski slope nose. Y'all know. I definitely wouldn't want to deny my Caucasian heritage, but I would have to be really Caucasian. And what I mean by that is how you said your mama is from Italy. She's Italian. I would be Italian. I would not be white.
Gotcha.
I would be Italian, and I would know about my Italian heritage. What came in to make me me. But to just be white, and I think that would fuck with me in a way because of the atrocities of white people.
Yeah.
And you can't let that go without being responsible for that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if y'all think about what it took to be the person that you are. How many people had to walk this earth and make love to somebody else and live their life for you to get where you are? More than anything, I would like to go into my history to learn about who I am, not to figure out who was black and who was white, but to figure out what did y'all do? Like, God didn't make no mistakes with me. He knew I was going to be a fool. But some of this is my ancestral lineage too. Like, how many other people was entertainers in my family? My dad, if I never knew my dad and then I just met my dad as an adult after doing what I'm doing now, to meet my dad and to know that my dad was in radio and to know that my dad was a newscaster and to know that my dad was in media and I've ended up in media. That's me showing, okay, I can see where I got this from. I want to do that. Whether you was white, black, Indian, Caucasian, alien, whatever. I want to know what the people did that got me here. Cause this ain't just me.
I'll tell you, I can tell you on here one day, but we did that. We went and we paid a lot of money to go research, and we found out, like my grandma's side, they came from India on some entrepreneur shit. Like, and my granddaddy and all of them, I guess con artist is the word. But the reason he joined the army was because he either could go to jail or go to the army or Air Force, my bad. But yeah, that kind of stuff is very interesting. And you see, to this day, we have a plaque in Mississippi because we had the first black-owned corner store in Mississippi in that area. My grandma's honored at schools all over in the city, in the city she came from.
Because she went to college.
She did. A black woman who went to college. I will say this. My granddaddy snatched her up. She got pregnant before she could graduate. But you know what I'm saying? But she, just for what she does in the community, she still gives back to her community, that kind of thing. She's not in Mississippi any longer, but those awards came because of her grandparents and stuff like that. The land that's still there. There's a town, Jonestown, that's our Jones. You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff is very interesting. And if you ever have the money, the time, or the resources to find that out, it really does enlighten you about yourself. So I definitely agree with that.
Now, I would want to know, that would be something I would want to know how Jessica feels about things like that. If she went back into her past and found out that her twice removed grandparents, so not grandparents, not great grandparents, but her great grandparents, that they were slave owners, how would that affect her as a person and who she is and how she relates? You know what I mean? This is such a polarizing conversation, but you're right. It is a good one, and it's one that has to be there. It's got to be done by somebody who, one, can approach both sides equally. You know what I mean? And in a way, it has to be somebody who can be non-biased and not only approach it from an emotional side, but a historical aspect as well. Because there's so much history and historical aspects to it. History. Right. And underlining. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give y'all, for example, if you ever go to New Orleans, like, and go into the history of New Orleans, Black people had to wear scarves because white women would be jealous of their hair and the beautiful things that we would do with our hair. So what they did was they started making Black women cover their head up with different scarves. So now when you see the women and they have these beautiful head dresses and head adornments, you thinking it's just because they fly. No, it's because they had to deal with racism and they took that racism and made it fly. Now you got white women wanting to wear turbans and be fly too, all off of what you force somebody to have to do. We can't have this conversation without you feeling some kind of way. Because I'm telling you right now, Peachy, I feel you. Our friendship might have been messed up. Because I'm going to approach this and be like, you the sensitive one. But let's not act like this ain't happened. Let's not act like we can't have this conversation. Let's not act like how did y'all deal with George Floyd? How did you deal with the conversation of Trayvon Martin? I cried when Trayvon Martin happened. My son had just been born. My son was like 1 or so. And after it happened, my son had a hoodie on. And as a little kid. And I'm thinking, God, I got to have these conversations with my children. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I know the fucking park that Tamir Rice got shot in. You know how bad I cried? Because that could have been one of my brothers. That could have been one of my friends. That could have been my cousin. Like,
that's a topic.
this will smoke a blunt and be off air and talk topic. Because we gonna need time.
Yeah, this will be a moderated conversation because it's a lot. It's so much to it. But I like the fact that we can talk about it. You got to talk about it. Like I said, when y'all say y'all don't see color, that's the end. No. I have a cousin who says, I'm here. What can I do? She never comes to me and says, this is what I'm doing. She said, I know I'm a white lady. What can I do? I want you guys to be equal. I want us to be equal. And that's all she ever does. She just asks. And that's all y'all can do.
That's all. Yeah, don't give me it. Yeah, no. I feel you. 5, 6. Hello?
This is Peachy.
Peachy said, fuck this job. I got something to say. I'm in the bathroom.
I know y'all gotta go, but I just have to say this.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Peach.
But, my biggest fear with me and Jessica is that we will fall out again. Jessica had started being on my show with me and my husband. And it was the three of us, only on Fridays. And to this day, I feel like God brought her to come on the show so that me and my husband can do this show alone for Fridays. Because she's no longer with us on the show. But she's no longer with us on the show because of my mouth and how I talk about white people sometimes. And me and Jessica literally sat on the phone, cried in tears. And this was probably like 4 or 5 months ago. In tears, crying because I had to tell her, before me and you lose our friendship again, out of all these years that we became friends, I'm trying to hold back my tears. But before we lose that friendship again, it's best that you don't be on my show. Because I'm not going to change my show being for the Black community. Because you want me to show more white people. Okay, if I show more white people, I'm going to show KKK. I'm going to show how they get in Mateo. I'm going to show that. You don't want me to show that type of stuff. So it's best that you not be on my show.
So she felt as though the show was one-sided?
Huh?
She felt as though the show was one-sided?
Exactly. She wanted me to show more of white people and what they go through just as well. But
ain't that CNN? Ain't that MSN?
Ain't that every other
Yahoo?
Because I have a question for Jessica as far as does she get offended by other racial jokes? One, and then for Peachy, if Jessica was to talk about Black people, how would you feel? Like make a Black joke coming from Jessica. How would Peachy feel?
Coming from her, the difference between me and her is if she makes a joke, I'm gonna laugh. But deep inside, I'm sitting here deep inside thinking in my brain, oh, but it's okay for you to say stuff about niggas.
Yeah.
But I can't. Like, Jessica would sit there and be like, Sunil, I love how you're on your show and you could just talk about Black people and you don't feel no type of way. I wish I can be like that. But at the same time, if we are walking around, she might say, girl, look at that nigga over there.
Ooh.
And I'd be like, look at him. That nigga ain't shit. But I can't walk around with her and be like, look at that white motherfucker right there.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
That's
where it's your fault. Wait, that's where it's your fault, Peachy. Because I wouldn't say, look at that white motherfucker over there. I mean, look at that crocker. Look at that crocker ass
when that white girl was missing, and she was all over the news. Like, I think her name was Gabrielle or something.
Yeah, the one whose boyfriend, the one whose boyfriend got her.
She got that white girl privilege. Yeah,
exactly. So my thing was, and I was doing the show around that time, and I told them on the show, I didn't even know Jessica was watching. You know, it wasn't on the Friday when she was supposed to be on the show. She just happened to be watching that particular show. And I told them, I said, I'm not finna talk about her white ass on my goddamn platform for the simple fact she all over.
Right. She got enough coverage. Y'all looking for her.
That's missing because ain't nobody talking about her.
Right.
Jessica called me the next day after I got pissed off with my job. She called me and was like, well, I don't know if I should tell you this right now, but I'm just going to tell you. I got offended when you said white ass.
Oh, girl.
Oh, baby. Look, so this is all hustle, no fear. This all hustle, no fear.
go.
We gotta go.
You know, it's like those
See,
those are the type of issues that we have. So I try not to talk about it around her, but at the same time, I still feel like if you're my friend, the friend
you
that
should
you
be
say
able
that you are,
to,
you should be
yeah,
able to accept anything that I say.
yeah. Y'all, we
You know,
gotta
I'm not out
go.
because Sunshine knows me well enough now. I'm not out to hurt nobody's feelings. It's just
Yeah.
sometimes things come out the way they come out when it comes to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, but we should be allowed to feel safe and in a safe space to speak the way that we speak, regardless. You know, wow, Peachy, we gonna have to talk about this more. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I'm gonna cultivate this. I'm gonna cultivate this conversation because this is a conversation that we definitely need to have, especially with so many more interracial relationships out there. We're gonna have to start talking about how people respond, not just to the interracial relationships, but to the other people. Because I have friends who have white husbands and stuff, and I know I be saying crazy shit. You know what I mean? And so I don't think about how it affects them or when I say stuff like that. But you know, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, Sunshine know I'm passionate about peachy tea time, but she has never seen me like this before. I know she hasn't. I know she's like, what the fuck? Where did that still come from?
Greg Johnson said, send me your email, please. I want to send you some videos of me being harassed by my neighbor in my neighborhood. Okay, listen. Today's show kind of happened to be like that, but my show a little different. If anything, you need to talk to Peachy. Peachy the one who play that kind of stuff on her show and will really get into it. Jump into the chat room and tag Peachy and ask her to send you, and you can send it to me, all AHNF 92.3 at gmail.com. I have no problem, but it just might not make my show the same way. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened that this show ended up being a long conversation, and we usually have multiple segments by now.
Yeah.
We just it turned into
it
turned into something else. And I have to get off as of right now because there's another show that's coming on, and we have to give them a chance to get on. This is All Hustle No Fear on Hits 92.3. I know I didn't get a chance to do what's happening in ATL today, but I can tell you what's happening. I'm going to be at a red carpet. That's why I look like this now, because I'm gonna be cuter later. So y'all can make sure y'all check me out at the red carpet at Indie Fresh. If you guys love the show and you want to donate, please visit allhustlenofear.com and you can donate to the show. We gotta go. This has been a great day. I absolutely love y'all, and y'all make sure y'all tune in on Monday. And I'm gonna start having more conversations like this on my stories where we can get together and have these conversations. So y'all make sure y'all tune into that, and I'll let y'all know when we're gonna do it. This is All Hustle No Fear on His 92.3, the real definition of internet radio.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that's our
Bye.
show. We gotta go, but you should know you can get more of the Hood uniform whenever you would like. Visit YouTube and follow us at All Hustle No Fear. Make sure you like and subscribe and turn on that notification button, okay? Or you can listen to me anytime. Have me all up in your head. You heard what I said. Go ahead and visit us at your favorite podcast platform or hoodunicorn.com. I'll be back, baby. Don't be sad. I'm coming back. This is All Hustle No Fear on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. Hey, Alexa, play Hits 92.3 ATL.